Then I want you to take another quick check-in here. How are you doing? Like, honestly, how are you doing? Not walking down the hall and someone, hey, how are you? Oh, good. How are you? Good. Not like that. Like, actually, how are you doing? So not the default answer. Think about, what do you need today? What do you need over the next 30 minutes or so? Good. Notice maybe those breaths are getting a little deeper. Maybe we started to relax those hands. So let's go ahead, walk those hands out a little closer to the top of the mat. Maybe press the palms down. Good. Maybe sink the hips back a little closer to those heels. And friendly reminder, at any time today, if you get lost, if you need a little break, or if this just sounds really good, you can always make your way back here to this child's pose. Good. Let's take a little rock with our head side to side here. So imprinting the forehead into the mat, just kind of rocking the head from the right to the left side. Good. And make that rock a little bit smaller until we come to a stop back right in the center. Let's open up that side body. Wiggle those fingers for me, stretch them forward, and go ahead, walk those hands over toward the right side of the mat. One of my favorite things to do right off the bat here. Open up that side body all the way from your pinky finger down to the top of that hip. And if you need a little bit more, just keep walking those hands to the side. You can cross at the wrists and really press the hands down. Good. Take a deep breath here into that left side. Perfect. And when you're ready, we'll sweep those hands over toward the left side of the room. Press down into the floor. Reach through those fingertips. Good. And again, stretching all the way from that pinky finger to the top of the hip, the very top of your pelvis here. Perfect. Go ahead, walk it back to the center, reaching forward, sending those hips back. Deep breath in. And as we exhale, hands pull in just below the shoulders, nice and strong. We press up into that tabletop. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Elbows are soft here. I love locking out my elbows. So when I say that 50,000 times to soften your elbows, most of the time it's because I'm also doing it too. So I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. We can all hold a little less tension together. I want you to bring some awareness into your core here. So draw that belly button inward, kind of pull it in toward the spine. And from here, curl your toes under, inhale. Exhale, shoot those hips up and back into our first downward dog of the day. Let's pedal out those heels. And again, just like in our child's pose, I really want you to notice how you feel here. Notice what you feel. Notice what you need. Maybe those hamstrings are really, really tight. And maybe this down dog is the last place you want to be. That probably means that we need to do it more than ever. So keep walking out your heels, keep checking in on your form. We spread out the fingers, we keep the biceps and the ears right next to each other, and we're just driving those heels down toward the floor. Good, press both heels down. Calves are saying hello. Maybe that Achilles tendon is like, hold on a second. But again, it all gets better from here. Soften your knees for me. Tiptoe your feet up to your hands. Good, and when you get there, let's take that inhale, half lift, flatten out your back, lengthen through your tailbone. Make sure you don't still have a huge round in your shoulders. So try to notice and think about if you could balance your favorite beverage on your back here. Good. Looking straight down at the floor. Inhale. Exhale, round it back over, release. Good, we're gonna take a big bend in those knees, round the back, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. When you get up to standing, your head always comes up last, and let's take a few circles back with those shoulders. Soften your knees. So same thing with the elbows. We love to lock out our joints and put so much pressure on them. But that hurts, and that pulls on the bones, that pulls on our tendons. Good, and again, it just creates more tension in our body. So try to release some of that. Open up the chest. Good, one more circle back. I want you to pull your shoulders up toward your ears. Good, the closest all day that your ears and your shoulders should be to one another. Good, now press your shoulders toward the back of the room. You might have a little bit of an arch in your back right now. That's okay, because we'll fix it. Perfect. Now keeping your shoulders back, drop your shoulders straight down. Good. Awareness in your core. Tuck your hips forward. Soften your knees. If you can hear my dog barking right now, I am so sorry. I think there's a truck outside my house. Just heard like brakes squeaking. Again, we stay present. We stay in the moment. These things happen. Good. Mountain pose. Deep breath in. Long breath out. As you exhale, tuck your chin for me. And rounding through your spine, I want you to slowly roll all the way down. Notice each vertebrae. Good. As you get closer and closer to the floor. And whenever you find your low point, you stop where you stop, and that's cool. Good, let's come into our ragdoll. So reaching for opposite elbows or biceps, tucking the chins, maybe falling forward a little bit more. Letting your low back and your hamstrings lengthen. Realize, oh, I can go a little bit further as I get a little warmer. Good, let's take a teeny tiny little rock side to side. Again, notice, how do you feel? What do you feel? Good, let's make that rock just a little bit smaller. Good, until we come right back to the center, weight placed evenly between our 2 feet. Let's release those arms. Good, again, big bend in the knees, big round in the back, roll it back up to standing. Head comes up last, shoulders roll up, back and down, chest is open. Good, from here, let's move through a couple of our sun salutations. So feet stay right where they are, core stays nice and strong. We inhale, sweep those arms up and overhead, looking between the hands. And exhale, leading with the chest here, forward fold. Relax your head and neck. Inhale, back into that half lift. Hands rest on your shins or thighs. Your back is so flat. Beautiful, and release it. Soft knees, plant the hands, go ahead, step back into that high plank nice and strong on your knees or toes. Good, keep that strong core that's going to protect your back. From here, we lower everything down to the floor together. Elbows brush the rib cage. Inhale, sweep through Cobra, hold here. So reminder for your options for Cobra. You can go ahead and extend those elbows if that feels okay on your low back. If it doesn't, bend your elbows more. If it still doesn't feel okay, I want you to stay down on those forearms. Perfect. Shoulders are down. We're lifting through the chest. We're not holding our breath. Give me one more inhale. Exhale, press into those palms, curl the toes under, and we are back in that downward dog. Pedal it out, one heel at a time. Good, check in on your breathing. We get super wrapped up in that yoga breathing. As always, I just encourage you to breathe. Make sure you're doing it. The rest comes with time. Good, press both heels down. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, step feet to hands. Again, we inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. And inhale, carefully roll it up. We'll take one more sun salutation. Chest is open. When you're ready, arms reach up high. Exhale, reach for the floor. Inhale, half lift. Good, release, step or hop it back. Knees lower to modify. We chaturanga, hug the elbows in. Sweep through, press up and out of those shoulders, bend the elbows as much as you want. And exhale, make your way back into that down dog. Nice job, guys. Heels getting a little closer to the floor. We're getting a little more comfortable in that downward dog, hopefully. Good, press both heels down. We're gonna move through a little warrior series here. When you're ready, inhale that right leg up for me and rotate your right hip forward. So we keep those hips square to the mat. Perfect, bend that right knee. And then we sweep the right foot through just between the hands. Back foot turns out. So left heel is on the floor, the toes are turned out, about 10 o'clock. And come on up. Arms reach up, we sink forward and down. So remember, right knee directly on top of that right ankle. Drop the shoulders down, press that left side forward. Good, and breathe. Keep that awareness in your core. Good, embrace the stillness here. If your mind wanders, pull it back to your breath. Pull it back to that reason why you logged into class today. Good, and let's open this up, warrior two. Back foot turns out wider. Good, front knee, still doing the same thing. Knee on top of the ankle. So hips and shoulders are open to the side of the room. We're reaching the arms out. We're gazing over those right fingertips. Very nice. Shoulder blades press down your back. Do me a favor and slightly tuck your hips forward for me, just so we don't have a big arch in the back. Good, check on that front knee. Make sure it's headed toward the middle of your foot. Inhale. Exhale, right angle. So right forearm comes to the top of the right thigh. We extend that left arm straight up. As always, we're pressing up and out of that bottom shoulder. Good, give me an inhale. Exhale, reach that right hand down. And we're gonna straighten out that front leg. So you might need to stay up a little bit higher just to keep that chest open, and that's totally fine. If you wanna keep reaching for the floor, that's great. Just make sure that top shoulder isn't collapsing over. Everything stays nice and open. We're not squeezing on that right knee, legs just straight. Inhale. Exhale, bend that front knee. Perfect. Left hand, it's gonna windmill toward the floor. Left heel rotates straight up. Find that low lunge for me. Hands are on the inside of that right foot. Good. Turn so you guys can see the front of me just a little bit. Knee on top of ankle still. If you're really shifting forward, do me a favor, shift your weight back, maybe scoot that left foot back a little bit more. From here, we're gonna add a twist to this. So your right arm is gonna reach up toward the ceiling, kind of twisting through the center of your chest. And if that doesn't feel great, I want you to take that right hand, just rest it on top of your right thigh. Good. Bring that right hand down to the floor. We inhale. Exhale, step it back, downward dog. Good, shake that out. We just did a lot of things. Don't worry, we will do all of them on the left side. Good, press both heels down. And let's go ahead, float that left leg up when you're ready. Square off the hips. Your foot can literally be a centimeter off the floor. It doesn't have to be all the way up to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, bend that knee. Sweep the left foot through between the hands. Right foot turns out. So to about like 2 o'clock-ish. Good. And come on up. Warrior one, left leg forward. Square everything to the front of the room. So whole right side. Pressing forward, knee tracking forward. Good, check in. Can you wiggle your toes here? If you cannot, your weight might be too far forward. Maybe scoot that back foot back a little bit more. Maybe just readjust. You honestly might need to just sink your weight down a little bit more too. Sometimes we're just heading forward, but we need to do a little bit of both. Quick check in, how you doing? You're still here, so that's great. Arms are nice and strong, shoulder blades pressing down your back. We'll take one more breath here. Exhale, open it up, warrior two. So back foot turns out a little wider. We sink back into that front leg, check in toward the middle of the foot. Hips are tucking right underneath us. We're gazing over that left hand. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out, right angle. Left forearm to the top of the left thigh. Right arm reaches straight up. And again, we just keep that chest open here. So shoulders should be stacked, one on top of the other. Good, bottom arm. Unfortunately, it is not a pillow. Press up and out. Not too much pressure on the top of that left leg, please. Good, come up just a little bit. Extend that left arm straight down. And then let's go ahead, straighten that front leg. So everything stays open. It's my main request. Good, you can rest the left hand on that left leg. You can grab a yoga block, a shoe box if you want something to hold on to here. Those will always work. Inhale. Exhale, we bend that front knee again. Windmill the hands to the floor. Back heel rotates straight up. Hips press straight down. Good, again, check in on that knee and ankle. Check in if you need to shift the weight back a little bit to keep everything lined up. Left hand can come to the top of that left thigh, or you can reach it up for that twist. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, lower that down to the floor. Take one more breath here with me. When you take your next exhale, we'll step both feet back together and we'll go ahead and pedal it out. Good, last downward dog of the day. That's nice, right? Drive both heels down. Notice how you feel different. Relax your head, shake it out. Drive those heels down, evenly pressing into the hands. Perfect. Good, bend your knees for me. Step your feet up to your hands. We're gonna kind of heel toe those feet all the way together. I want you to shift your weight back into your heels. Give me a huge bend in your knees. Lift your chest up, meet me in chair. So again, make sure you can wiggle your toes. We have our weight shifted all the way back into our heels like you are about to sit in the world's smallest chair. Back is nice and flat. Legs might be shaking a little bit. Embrace it. We're just here for a second. Okay, it's a few seconds. If you're like a very literal person, it's not a minute. We won't be here for a full minute. Inhale. Exhale, we're gonna twist. Draw your right elbow toward the outside of your left leg. Perfect. We're gonna press the palms into each other here. If you want to take this a little bit deeper, you can reach those arms up and out. Feels so good on the back. And hands come right back together. We inhale back to the center. Exhale, switch it. Left elbow toward the right knee. Good. Perfect. If you want to open it up, go right ahead. Try to keep those knees together. We just don't want them caving in. Perfect. Hands close. Come back to the center. Inhale. And exhale, stand it up. That might have been almost a minute. I'm sorry. Hands lower down. Do me a favor, wrap your arms behind your back for me. You can interlace your fingers. Great. You can reach for opposite wrists. You can also reach opposite elbows, whatever works best for you here. And we're going to open up the chest, keep the knees soft, and keep tucking your hips forward. So make sure that your back just isn't arching and trying to create like a shelf for your forearms. Good. Open up the chest, holding on to hands, wrists, forearms, elbows, whatever. Drop the shoulders down. We inhale. Stay here. Exhale. Drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Good. You can close your eyes if you need to. Perfect. Rotate your head. Look down at that right shoulder. Rotate back ear to shoulder. And let's switch that. Left side. Left ear dropping toward the left shoulder. Right side really pressing away. We're still pulling the knuckles, the hands, the elbows, kind of down toward the floor, maybe down and back a little bit if that works for you. Good. Breathe. Carefully rotate. Look down at that left shoulder. Perfect. And coming back to the center. Good. And back to the middle. From here, nice big bear hug. Round your back, kind of like you're hugging like a beach ball. Round your back. Tuck your chin, interlace your fingers. I want you to pull your knuckles toward the front of your room, separating the shoulder blades. And as you get more and more comfortable, I want you to exaggerate that round in your spine even more. Good. Slowly reach those hands over toward the right side of the room. You're going to feel that stretch kind of move toward the left side of your back. Good. And slowly switch it. Reach over to the left. Ooh. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, stand it up as tall as you can. Reach those arms overhead. And forward fold. Good. Relax your head and neck. Bend your knees here. And carefully, you can cross at your ankles and make your way down to a seated position. Just get to the floor safely. It doesn't have to be pretty. All right. From here, meet me in that butterfly stretch. The soles of the feet are going to come toward each other. Knees are out wide. We're sitting up nice and tall. We inhale together. And we exhale, hinge forward. Spine nice and long, reaching through the crown of the head. Good. Pressing those elbows down into the inner thighs just a little bit to open those hips more and more and more and more. Exhale a little bit deeper, please. Good. Are you breathing? Perfect. Good. Carefully lift up for me, getting into your inner thighs. Make sure you're not going to kick anything. We're going to send the legs out to the sides. Good. Nice and wide. Just try to straighten out the legs. If you need to bring them in closer, bring them in closer. We're sitting up tall, keeping your toes and your knees straight up toward the ceiling. I want you to walk forward just as much as you can. So hands reaching forward. Good. If your arms are super straight, again, I just ask you to soften the elbows slightly. You can come down to forearms. You want to reach all the way out, go for it. Again, we really just want to focus on making sure that the knees and the toes aren't caving forward. Try to keep them straight up. That way the stretch stays right in those inner thighs. Good. Keep reaching. Exhale a little bit deeper. Good. And carefully bring it back in, bring it back up, bend the knees, bring them back together. Hug behind those hamstrings. Give me that nice big exaggerated round again in your back. And we'll carefully lower it all the way down to the floor. When you get there, hug your knees into your chest for me. Good, just as much as you can. And take a little tiny rock side to side. So just enough of a rock that you can feel the weight shift from the right side of your spine to the left. Not so much that you're going to fall over. Good. Perfect. Make your way right back to the center. We're going to keep holding on to that right leg. Go ahead, extend your left leg all the way out. And if your leg being straight here doesn't feel good, if it like puts any pressure or anything on your low back, just go ahead and pull that knee back in, plant the foot on the floor and keep it bent. So we'll stay here for one more breath in. And as we breathe out, flex that foot. Let's send that leg straight up toward the ceiling, straightening out as much as you can. And then we're going to draw some circles with that right foot. Just kind of giving that ankle some love, moving the stretch around throughout your calf muscle, throughout those hamstrings. Circle the other way. Good. Hands should be above or below that knee. Friendly reminder. We don't want to pull right on the back of that knee. Just above or below. Good. Flex the foot, lengthen out a little tiny bit deeper. Perfect. Bend that knee and switch it out. Hug the left knee in. Hold it here first. Good. Relax the shoulders. Relax your jaw. Good. Let's flex that foot. Inhale. Exhale. Send that leg straight up toward the ceiling. You can keep your head, neck, and shoulders relaxed on the floor here. I feel like so often we're trying to like death grip that leg and get so close to it. Don't worry about it. It's really more about straightening this leg than how close we can bring it in. And again, both of them come with time. Good. Go ahead, circle out that ankle for me. Very nice, very nice. And then you can go ahead, circle the other way. Perfect. Flex that foot, drive through the heel, lengthen out and rest. Good. Hug that knee back in. You can plant both feet on the floor here. Keep those knees bent. Or you can go ahead, extend those legs out just for a moment. Breathing deep. Good. Stay right here. Relax your face, relax everything. Notice, are you still holding tension anywhere? Maybe it's your hands, your feet. Maybe it's that space right between your eyebrows. Just try to relax, let it go. Good, join me in one more deep breath in. Notice that tension. Exhale, try to let just a little bit of it go. And try to do that as you move through the rest of your day, just letting that extra tension, that extra baggage that we carry around, just try to let some of it go. When you're ready, we can wiggle those fingers and toes, roll over to one side. As you feel more ready, you can make your way back up to that seated position. And we'll take one more breath together here. Inhaling those arms up high, palms finding each other, and we exhale the hands down to our heart center. As always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. It is an absolute honor and pleasure to do this with you. Namaste.